We got a blank piece of paper. Okay, so when drawing a body, I start with an oval. It doesn't have to be a circle, just like I call it a circle. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's just gotta be round. And then you go a line for the neck. A sort of circle, this one I usually do larger. And if you're drawing a girl, I usually have it what would be the torso, come at a more point, and then I have a very triangular shape that I usually make sort of like this. If you're doing a guy, then you do the same thing up until the torso, in which I usually have it be more boxy, and then I just do that for the general shape of the hips. I don't know why, it's just how I do it. And then you just kind of come down, and this you're gonna make sort of like a triangle shape for the feet. I don't know why I do this, it's just easier. And then same thing for guys, which is fun. So as you can, for me, I feel like you can tell the difference. This one feels a lot more feminine, this one feels a bit more masculine. Sometimes I do the arms, sometimes I don't, but then I just add some circles for where the shoulders would be and do the same thing that I do with the legs, like this. Whoop. So the actual part where it makes a difference is when you're filling it in. So this acts as a skeleton, and with a skeleton you have to add the actual meat onto it. So we're gonna go, I really want to do this one, but I feel like this one is gonna be more useful. So usually if I'm drawing a person, even with just my fashion ones, I go over the head just to make sure that it's defined, because for me, some reason I can't draw a proper body without just starting at the head and letting myself know, hey, this is the head. So I start at the head and then I come down into the shoulders, and usually this isn't 100%. I usually go over it as a sort of basic guideline, and then I just kind of add it. Another thing that's really important is muscle definition, distinguishing between males and females. So women have a lot more, is less muscular. It's very nice and curved. As I'm not a really good example of this because all my chicks look buff. Men, however, they're going to have a lot more muscular definition. Like, whoop, they big boys. The boys be big. And I feel like that plays a lot of a role in the arms and the legs, especially with the legs. I used to have a lot of trouble with the legs. But, you just go over and you do this stuff. Yeet. And we're gonna just do this real quick. I'm not gonna really. So, arms are fun. Yay. My arms always look really awkward when I'm drawing. Yeah. So, for the torso, usually I suck at doing anything but large boobs, as you can tell. If I don't do large boobs, then they look like a boy. But also I like to draw the titty. Pay no attention to me. But usually I start with a general definition, and I'm like, hey, this is what it would look like on a human. Even with guys, I usually define everything a lot. I want to make sure everyone knows, hey, this is what the stuff looks like. So, right here, you could tell, if it was a skeleton, it would look like that, and that would be the ribs. So usually I have that showing, and then this would be the pelvis. And so I make sure, hey, there's a lot of width there. And then you come down to the legs, my favorite part. On women, their legs are a lot more curved. I have trouble doing a thigh gap. I don't know why. Unless they're straightforward, I can't draw a fucking thigh gap for the life of me. I feel like the legs are the most important part. I don't know why. I really like the legs. So for legs, I'm also gonna do this separately. Okay, so legs, An easy way to think about it is you're going to curve here and come in, and then you're going to curve again and come in. And this is going to be straight, and this is going to be slightly curved. And that's how legs look, kinda. Guys, the curves are a bit different. Like, let's just go ahead and do that again. Guys, it's going to be straight. It's pretty much straight and then curved, so you got a little less. Also, they're right here, it's going to be more defined towards the top, a lot more muscle, like that. See? I'm really bad at explaining. And then I always have like these really large cartoonish feet and shoes. Actually, it's less the feet and more the shoes. I just really like to make cartoonish shoes. I don't like to draw feet. Okay, and guys, whooped. My favorite. So, guys, you start out the same. I like to make everything a lot more blocky. With guys, you're going to be a lot more blocky. There's a lot more muscle in different places. So their shoulders, I usually have, like if I do a woman's shoulders, it's more like that. But men, I usually start like halfway down the neck, and then I get a little muscle there because all my boys be beefy. So you gotta make these beefcakes. Their arms are gonna look strong. You gotta make them beefcakes. I don't know how to draw the twink. All the beefcakes. And so you got that. With the torso, you're going to pretty much you gotta get the moves in there. And then, like I said, I like to accentuate everything. So if you draw the dude naked, I say naked like I'm gonna draw the weenus, but I'm not. Haha. So it's gonna look like this. And then it also curves. With a guy, their curve right here is going to be a lot lower, which is, I think that's why I do this, because like normally it'd be up here, but instead I have it down here. But you still have the curve, it's just lower. Also, I like to use that little thing. I like to use that to know where I put the belly button. And then, because a male's torso is a lot longer, so I think that's why I do it. But, so you're gonna bring down to the legs. As you can see, I kind of just do a straight line. Where the weenus would be, and then, okay, you just sort of bring it. And then you got the knees, and then you got, them calves, though. And you do that, and you got the calves, though. And you got, yep. I'm not even sure if I know what I'm doing anymore. Haha. But yeah, this is, yay. Yeah. Yep. Okay. This is how you do bodies. Basically, I'm not that good. I'm not really good at doing, like, just straight up, like, most of my poses. I like to be very fluid, even though I'm not fluid at all. Haha. Okay, so faces, we're gonna do the same thing with a male and a female. Whoop-de-whooped. And I think the best way to do this is to make two characters that look the same, so then you can, like, see them. So, for a female character, you're going to, like, gotta get that lighting, though. So, with a female character, female faces are generally more rounded. There's a lot more on the face, so there's that. Also, their eyes are a lot bigger. Like, I don't really think I take that into account, because everyone has large eyes. Like, literally, the only difference between my freaking guys and chicks in the face is whether or not I add that eyeliner. Which is not a good thing. Do not follow in my footsteps. Okay. But here, so when I usually start with the eyes or the nose. So if I draw a girl, I'm making a very sassy girl. Okay, so I usually start with the eyes and eyebrow, and I'm a bad person, so I do eyes at separate times. Yeah. Okay, and then I do the nose. Usually I do this because I feel like the eyes are basically the center point of everything, because you're going to want to draw attention to the eyes, the face, and then I got that. Okay, so then I got these two little strips, and you don't have to draw it like that. And then you do the mouth. And it's kind of, when you're drawing a character, you want to make sure you can distinguish between them. You want different features, different eye shapes, different nose shapes, different mouth shapes. For instance, this character, her face is very, I don't know how to describe it, but like she's got a larger nose, which you can't really tell face when she's facing forward, but if I do it to the side, her nose looks more like that. Kinda. That's a really bad example. That looks terrible. It's like that. Yeet. And she's also got very, like, she's got thin almond eyes. Like, that's the best way to describe it. And she's got large lips. And, I love this girl. But, like, so I also like to define eyebrows a lot. So I start with the face, and then I actually do the shape. So for this character, her face is very defined, the character that I'm drawing right now. But I'm going to try and make it, like, not as defined as it would be, because she's got a very thin face, but I feel like that's a bad example. Also, people look different. These are just rules I generally go by. They're not in everything. So, like, this is what it would look like generally. And then you kind of go like that. And your ears are going to be about where, like, the center of the eye would be. And then you just do those. So, you got that. And then for guys, I always start with the nose. I don't know why. And then you draw the eyes. And their eyes are going to be a lot more smaller. And I like to give them angry eyebrows. I don't know why. I give everyone thick-ass eyebrows anyway. Okay, and then we're gonna do the mouth. And I feel like the mouth is a very important part, but the eyebrows are the most important part. Don't listen to me. Okay, so then you see his, like, it's a lot more defined. There's a lot more going on in that structure of the face. And, like, it's a lot more slim. And he looks terrible. I'm sorry, I suck at this. And then you're gonna draw the same thing with the ears, and yeah. That's how I do faces. What else? Okay, let's talk about hair. Oh, yes, hair. We're gonna just use them. Okay, so for hair, typically, I like to start with just a general outline of what it's going to look like for her. Her hair is actually pretty simple. But, like, I go like this, and this is just generally, hey, this is what it looks like. And I always do it in sections. Hair should always be done in sections. Like, you shouldn't do it as a clump. It's in sections. That's how actual hair works. My hair is very exaggerated when I draw it. But do hair in sections. It doesn't, like, strand out. If you, like, notice, your hair isn't individual. It's individual strands, but it's never, like, strandy, if you know what I mean. Like, it's always in sections. So, this is usually what I start out with. As you can see, like, the parts where it's put up is very sectioned off, and the parts where it's together it doesn't look as sectioned off. But, like, so I start with this, and then usually, if I'm going to do liner, I actually need an example of that. Hi. Okay. Here we are. So, as you can tell from this beautiful drawing of the same girl, I'm going to bring her over here, away from that desk. Okay. So, if you could see, if you can, her hair, there's a lot of individual strands, and that's just a personal choice. But, like, let me try and get the brightness up. This is what I usually do. I usually go over and add individual strands into the clumps. It's not really, it's like just defining the clumps more and making it look more like hair. So that's what I usually do for hair. I don't know why everyone thinks it's such a problem. That's, like, the best and easiest part. Like, seriously, bro. What's so hard about hair? I lost my pencil. But, like, what else should I talk about? Okay, let's go ahead and talk about posing. Haha, 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 haha. Okay. For poses, typically, I do the same thing. And when I draw a pose, I want it to be really loose. And the best way to do that is to not give a fuck. Usually I try to stick within, hey, this is how humans' limbs move. And then you also gotta keep, oh my god, this needs to focus. So you gotta keep, like, the perspective. Oh my god, focus, please. Can we not autofocus? Thanks. Anyway. Is it easier to focus from far away? What is wrong with you? Ugh. Anyway. Can we just, like, zoom out, please? Oh my god. Zoom in, zoom out. Thank you. Okay, so, like, in the pelvis area, what I do if I'm gonna draw legs is I take, like, where it is, and I'll do, like, this sort of circle-ish, like, thing, so then I know where to place everything. So, like, this would be, like, from here, it'd be like this, and that's how I know where everything goes. It's really helpful, actually. It's, like, hella helpful to do that, and you just don't have to pay attention to do it, like, anytime else. So I feel like it's really easy, blah, blah, blah. Also, if a thickness be on a surface, it gonna get thicker. Like, just so you know, this, like, the leg, it gonna be thick. If somebody sitting down, it gonna be thick. Like, just make everything extra thick and you're good. Just thick. Thick. See? Thick. As you can tell, I am obviously very skilled in art. Obviously, I know what I'm doing. Ha, ha, ha. I know nothing. But yeah, this is just what I do. It's probably, like, really wrong. But, yep. Yeet. Yeet, yeet, yeet.